And we're back with Debbie Cook from Historical Society.
Yes, the Amador County Historical Society.
Great society.
Yes, it is. And I'm here to talk about 2 upcoming events we have this month.
Well, do tell.
The first one is on April 15th. It's for the general membership of the Historical Society. And it's the general membership meeting that's going to be held at Hine & Company Books, upstairs in their Sherlock Holmes room. So it's a great historic setting. And at that meeting, we'll be honoring 2 patrons of the Historical Society who've recently made generous donations to us. And I'll be giving a talk on the Amador Central Railroad. The meeting starts at 6:30, and like I said, that's for the general membership of the Historical Society. And if anyone else is interested in attending, they can Google our website, AmadorCountyHistoricalSociety.org, and get all our information there and find out about joining the Historical Society.
Awesome.
And the railroad is kind of the focus of our events this month. On April 22nd, which is Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock, we're going to hold a ceremony near the Ione railroad station. This is to honor 2 of our past railroad folks for their dedication and work on preserving the Amador Central Railroad. Many of you may know Larry Sonato, who was our Amador County archivist, worked here at TSPN, was a journalist, spent many years alongside the rest of us working towards preserving this great historic feature in Amador County. We'll be honoring him by naming a railroad siding after him and placing a plaque. And then another dedicated volunteer was Rich Bryant, who passed just a short time ago, and he was with the Recreational Railroad Coalition Historical Society, who is the co-owner of the railroad. And if any of you saw us out there in the little motor cars crossing the highway and saw the flaggers out there, Rich was one of those men who was always there whenever we needed him as a flagger. He spent most of his life in public service. He worked for Department of Fish and Game most of his professional life, and we really miss him. So we're going to honor him by naming a small station that we've set up where we store our equipment and a few motor cars. It will be named the Rich Bryant Station. And that ceremony is going to take place at 8 in the morning. Wednesday morning, the 22nd, and if you would like to join us, we won't be holding it at the Ione Rail Yard where we usually have our events. For those that want to attend, when you come into Ione on 124, Highway 124, before you reach the railroad crossing, just before Howard Park, off to the left, Rick Kreth owns that property, and there's a road that goes back into where we'll be holding this ceremony. And we'll have signs out for visitors so they can, so they know where to go and park. And we're actually holding this in conjunction with the Motor Car West Operators tour of the Amador Central Railroad. They have every year what they call the California Tour, where they take their motor cars on 7 different railroads. And so the Amador Central is hosting them this year. And the public won't be able to go on the motor cars at this event, but they can join us for the ceremony, look at the vintage motor cars that will be parked there before they leave on their excursion at 9 o'clock. So we urge everyone to come out to these events. Like I said, contact us at the Historical Society. If you are interested in joining, we can always use many volunteers. We need help on the railroad. We have a management committee, but we take volunteers to help us maintain it. And hopefully I'll be back in a couple of months to talk about a large fundraiser we'll be holding this fall to raise some money towards insurance and maintenance and things like that on the railroad, because it's something we really want to preserve.
Do you have a number for people who want to get in touch with the Historical Society, or email or anything?
Like I said, you can go on Google us on Google, and we have a website, and it gives all the board numbers. It gives the number for the office. Our office has moved from Main Street to the museum. but there's no one staffing the office all the time. So it's a good idea to go to the website and email us if you have any questions or want any more information about our events throughout the year, how you can become a member of the Historical Society and have
been on
fun.
that website. It's a good website.
Yes, it's a great website.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
A lot of
historic
history.
pictures and
Yeah, I
things
love
like that.
I'm curious, where does the Amador Central Railroad go to?
Okay, it begins in Ione,
Okay.
and then it travels up the hill, and as many of you know, if you drive down 88, it actually crosses the highway 3 times. There's a trestle and then 2 regular railroad crossings. And then it ends now at the intersection of Lower Ridge Road and Highway 88. Right there where it used to be the bread store, it's now Amador Steel. And we have a turnaround pad. So if you come out for any of our events and go on an excursion, that's where we go from, is from Ione up to behind Amador Steel at Lower Ridge Road, and we turn around and go back. And we'll be having several events this year that the public can join us on and take a motor car ride. I'll be hosting 2 history runs this year. Those are different than our excursions we have during the rail fair. What we do on those is we actually stop along the way and get out of the motor cars and walk a short distance, and I talk about the history of the railroad as it's associated with the mining, the clay and brick industry, talk about the old railroad stations, how it was built, ranching. We will be holding one of those on Father's Day this year. So if you need
Fun.
something for your father, for a nice gift, just contact us, and we'll be happy to get you some tickets to go on the Father's Day run on the Amador Central.
I'll contact you because I think my dad would like
I
it.
would love that too. We'll both contact you.
Yeah. Real quick, we're going to go to a short break, and we're going to come back and wrap it up with our final segment, so stay tuned.